Good evening, 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 and welcome back.
Hi, Twitch.
Hi, Twitch.
I'm back.
Hola, Twitch.
Welcome back to Injustice. This is episode 7. And it's going to be kind of a entirely unscripted, but loosely planned out session where we're going to talk about the intermission in the story at hand, where our player characters are scattered to the wind, hiding from a powerful government which controls their homes, and have to spread out across a world which they have been told for all of their lives is a cutthroat and dangerous place to try and hone their skills and not be such easy targets for the witnesses or the dark faction of the witnesses to run down and steal their powers, their vertices from them in order to effectively become gods. That was a meandering recap in a way, but we are going to jump into tonight. We're going to talk about all of the characters that you guys are putting together, your level 1 characters. We're going to look over your character sheets, make sure that everybody's ready to play Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and then we are going to talk about the gaps, this decade or so long period that will elapse in the storyline and what you guys got up to. There's going to be a lot of collaborative storytelling and world building in this because there's a lot of my map here that I don't really have content for. I didn't design content for. As your characters kind of spread out and flee Astropor, we are going to together kind of talk about what you think might have been your experience and what kind of societies might be in those places, and kind of let it all unfold before us. So it's going to be kind of a workshop-y sort of session, pretty atypical to our normal workflow, but this is session 7, and we're going to get right into it. You guys did send me all of your character concepts. Let's see.
I straight up don't remember mine. I'm gonna be honest.
You are a wizard, psychic.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
Jonathan, you are a cleric, paladin. It's not called paladin.
Cleric
Champion.
Paladin. Champion
Cleric
Paladin.
champion?
Cleric Champion.
Cleric champion.
Wait, did we
William,
not play
you're
last
playing
week?
rogue swashbuckler. No, that's correct. We had we all took off for the long weekend.
Oh.
Yeah, you didn't miss anything.
Oh, good. Okay. Perfect. Okay, sorry for interrupting.
Not at all. Not at all.
Confused.
And Jerry, you are playing a kineticist. Kineticist.
No, it's there. I typed it in.
I believe you. I just am doing all this from memory. I didn't have that right in front of me.
Kineticist Rogue.
Kineticist rogue. William, you're playing a rogue swashbuckler. Accurate.
I think he is muted or
I
something.
think he is muted. Or
Yes.
something.
Yes.
Great. And Mason is playing a. Mason? Did Mason tell me when he was playing?
He did.
Yes.
He did.
Druid kineticist. Awesome.
So much kinetics.
So much kinetics. So, yeah, so fortunately, kineticist is one of those classes where you can have a couple of them and you can play very, very differently. It's very similar with clerics and rogues. They just have a lot of options available to them. So, and you guys are such different characters, I'm not worried about there being any kind of real overlap. Let's go ahead and talk about, I realize for a lot of you, Pathfinder is relatively new. So, what I want for all of you to do, Oleander, I see you've already done this, but all of you should go in and either start from scratch, create a level 1 character sheet, like by just making a new character, or grab your character and put them at level 1. You're going to want to make sure that you've got all of your traits imported for your class.
How?
Yeah. So when you open up your character sheet,
Okay.
let's just go to veteran for example. Open up your character sheet. You'll see that there is a spot for class right underneath your ancestry. You can click the little plus button there and go ahead and add your main class. Just drag it off of the compendium box that pops up and drop it right onto your character sheet. Yep. And then what you want to do is head over to the feats section and make sure that, oh no, you have to change your level to level 1 at the top as well.
Okay.
Within the little shield.
Got it. It's asking me in arcane school. Oh, I was not prepared for this. God damn it.
Which just as well, because this is something we'll have to change for you because they're changing the way that all the schools work in
Oh, yeah.
new Pathfinder. But for now, yeah, go ahead and pick one. I thought you were doing
Enchantment, I think, was what I decided.
or illusion.
Yeah.
Enchantment.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Oh, what in the Dragon Age, Jerry? Good night. I haven't thought about that night in a long time.
Enchantment.
There's like a whole conspiracy theory that he like apparently in Dragon Age Origins predicted what was going to happen in the third Dragon Age game. Apparently,
I haven't gotten to that one yet.
there was also a conspiracy that he was like the most powerful like being in the entire world. This is gonna be a stupid question.
Mhm.
How do I create a new character?
Oh yeah, if you want to start from scratch, when you go
I
over
would
to
need
the
to do that to import, right? If I want to import from using Path.
no, you can take your current character sheet, and at the top, if you open up your character sheet, there's a little button that says Path Muncher. Nom nom nom. That's gonna let you import directly from Path Builder. So if you guys have characters built in Path Builder, which is not a bad path to take, no pun intended, you can use this function to directly import them.
I apparently need the create actor permission for
Yeah,
the
that seems
user.
likely. Hold on just a moment. Everyone,
How do you put? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
everyone kind of save what you're doing because I'm gonna have to kick you to do a thing.
Saved.
Would someone mind telling me how to do?
Go ahead.
Oh, would someone
Yeah.
mind telling me how to do the feat thing, the additional archetype thing in Path Builder?
Yeah. So
Oh, you
since
can't
we're
do it in
doing-
Path Builder.
Oh,
can.
okay.
It won't be called a free archetype, but if you already have your character made or whatever, go to 3 lines in the top left-hand corner. Go down to custom and go to custom feat choice. Once you go to custom feat choice, where it
You
says
have to
general
have
feat, there's a
full
drop-down
version.
menu. Oh, you do.
Oh,
This is
you have
true.
to have the full version.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
yeah, you have to pay
You
for
have
it
to
to
have
get
the
that.
full version to do it.
for for this anyway, it wouldn't show up yet, but you can just go to when you go to bonus feats, at the bottom, you can
In
just
Foundry?
search up the in Foundry.
Yeah, in Foundry,
You can
yep.
search that and pull it in there. At level 2, it'll give us a spot to put it, and I'll probably move it there then. But for now, the Foundry doesn't expect us to have it yet.
Correct.
What's my class feed?
All right, you should be able to do that now, Jerry. Sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, and Foundry should do a pretty good job of telling you guys what kind of stuff you need when you level up to level 1. The one thing that Foundry does not have automation on, I'm telling this to Cameron and Jonathan specifically, is that it doesn't have automation on the number of spell slots you have. You'll have to add those and make those choices. So let me know when you're ready to talk about how that works.
Are there other feats that I need to add, or does it automatically pull in?
So hold on, let me check. Feats.
It's
So
got
you
class
got your class
features.
feats, yeah. So you get one ancestry feat. So right here, where if you go to the feats, the metal symbol in Foundry,
Yeah.
if you scroll down, anytime there's an empty slot, that's it expects you to have something there. Like so, per your level and your class, you should have something filling that slot. So you don't get a class feat at level 1 as a wizard, but you do get an ancestry feat at level 1. Yeah.
Got it.
Um,
Got it. Okay.
And then you've got campaign feats down here at the bottom. That's from me. And so no, if there's
Okay, I see. So it gives you a placeholder where you have to actually do some.
exactly. And then when you go to
I see.
spellcasting, let's see.
Oh yeah. Okay. It's the little magic wand, huh?
It is the magic wand. That's it.
We could do the alternate boost, right, for the...
It's not advisable, but sure. What are you trying to accomplish? Let's see.
I don't necessarily need the intelligence that Elf gives me.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Yes. So you can do whatever the book recommends, or if you go to edit, yeah, you can click the alternate boost where you get to pick 2, and you have no flaws. Right. If you unclick that, you'll be locked into something that your race potentially has that has a flaw and 2 boosts. 3 boosts and a flaw. Sorry. But the alternate of just having 2 boosts is available. I hope that wasn't too complicated.
Wait, are things changing? Great.
Maybe. Let's take a look at that stream.
No, I already chose. Never mind.
Okay, great.
It's all good.
Oh, so yeah, you can do. Open up your go to your like little ID card, and then down at the bottom where you've got your attribute modifiers, click edit.
Yeah.
So you can do it this way. Actually, it's going to be just the same. If you want intelligence and dex, you've just overcome that. But if you go alternate boost, basically it lets you pick intelligence and dex without having a flaw at all. It doesn't make any difference for you. Just do it that way.
Okay. Great.
So, awesome. Let's see. Yeah, and it should give you actions on your action page. That if level 1 you get any actions, you can click the little 3 dots next to at the very end of the list of like pages to turn some of them off. You won't need Pathfinder Society. You probably won't need the crafting tabs. So you can turn those off if you'd like.
Okay. Nice. Cleans things up nicely.
All right. How's everyone doing on character creation?
Seems to be okay.
Well, I'm at the spellcasting point now, but
Okay.
I can wait until other people are there.
I think it's just you and John.
Is it Mason? No, Mason. Not
Yeah,
there yet.
Mason as well, but Mason's driving or doing something.
So I have maybe let me here's
What's that?
I'm not altogether certain that I'm doing this right, but
Okay.
here
Yeah, no problem.
I'm checking demiplane to make sure that I've got. I'm just doing the cleric part. I haven't done the champion part yet.
Right. That might take a little bit of extra effort as well. Oh, it really honestly shouldn't.
So I do need to know about the deity because I get stuff from that.
Yes. So we did talk a little bit, and I think that the amount that we spoke about is really going to be the extent of your knowledge about the specific deity. Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
It's just for the actual mechanics, like I get trained in a skill determined by the chosen deity. You get trained in.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Great.
Yeah, that's
Point.
what I was.
So your skill is going to be, your skill's going to be diplomacy.
Okay.
And if you're already trained in diplomacy, you can pick one for free. Anything else?
I will be trained in the favored weapon of the deity.
Okay. The favored weapon of the deity is probably going to be, let me do some quick research. I know, everybody's favorite thing to do is just to sit and watch me type. The favorite weapon of your deity is a Khopesh.
Okay. Where is that?
It's a D8 slashing martial with the trip trait.
Khopesh.
Yes.
Okay, and I am trained in it. Trying to figure where I got trained in society and religion and arcana.
It may have been like your choices. You know, at level 1 you get a certain number for cleric plus your intelligence modifier in trained skills. You may have made those selections.
And you also get some skills from, or a skill from your
You
background.
get one skill from your background, yes.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
So, because my intelligence changed, I should lose one of these.
Probably, yes.
Yep, okay.
Yeah, and that's always the case throughout the game too. So if at any point your intelligence goes up, you get trained in additional skills retroactively if you choose to increase your intelligence later.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay.
And at what point do you choose? Oh, I choose my doctrine now. Where do I put that at?
So you need to change your character level to character 1. Let me.
That'll help. Yes. Good thinking, Sid. Okay, it is asking me for a deity. Is there one that I should choose?
I may have fucked it up for you. Yeah, you should choose. I fucked it up for you. Great. And now I don't know how to give you proficiency in just one weapon type. Yeah, let's start over. Let's just build a new character.
Okay.
I apologize. Do you have? Wait. Do you have? Are you in Path Builder?
I can be.
If you go fix this in Path Builder, we'll just import it and it'll override all this stuff. Cameron, let's talk about spells while he's. Well, because I messed it up. He has extra homework. So.
Let's talk about spells, baby.
Okay, and then we're gonna go to add spellcasting entry.
Ah, yes. We'll click it.
Let me know what you see, or share your screen, or just let me know what you see.
Spellcasting settings. Spellcasting type: innate, spontaneous, prepared, focus items only. Magic tradition, arcane, proficiency, arcane spellcasting. Key attribute should probably be intelligence, not any
Yes.
of the others. Is my spellcasting innate? I thought it was
It's not
prepared.
innate. It is prepared. Yeah.
Okay. Flexible, check or no check?
No.
No check. Okay, and it is arcane with arcane spellcasting.
Mm-hmm.
Create.
mhm. All right.
Okay.
So that's
Holy shit.
probably right. Let's check and see. I think with wizards, it's a little bit different. You have a spell preparation button, which is going to allow you to select from spells that you know and prepare them each day. Here's the important thing to know about wizards. And this is not going to be too difficult for you because you don't have to unlearn any 5th edition nonsense. But it is different than you're probably thinking. And we may have talked about this before. When you prepare your spells for the day, you prepare the spells into the spell slot where they're going to be cast at the beginning of each day. So let's say that you have your level 1. How many first level spells do you have? Great question, Sid.
I don't know.
Great question, Sid. At level 1, you have 5 cantrips, wow, and 2 first level spell slots. So 2 and 5.
Whoa.
So you have 2 spell slots every day at level 1. If
Okay.
you want to cast, but let's say you know, how many spells do you know at level 1? Hold on. Okay, you own a spell book. You start with a spell book worth 10 silver pieces, which you receive for free and must study to prepare your spells each day. The spellbook contains your choice of 10 arcane cantrips and 5 first level arcane spells.
Whoa, okay.
You choose these from the common spells on the arcane spell list or from other arcane spells you gain access to. Your spellbook's form and name are up to you. It might be a musty leather-bound tome or an assortment of thin metal discs connected to a brass ring. Any number of other kind of
Very.
iterations that you think you might like. And feel free to ponder on that. You don't have to give me an answer right now. But basically, so you're going to pick 5 first level spells to know, and 10 cantrips to know. Every day, you select which 5 cantrips you'll have access to. Cantrips are free and can be cast. Hi, Mason!
Bye.
Cantrips are free and can be cast at will anytime. They're always heightened to half your level, so they get better the better you are, at the higher your level. The spells, however, you cast them at, yes, I see, your office. It is so empty. Yeah, you're making me dizzy. Oh, it's puppy dogs.
I
Oh my
do.
goodness. So let's say that of your first level spells, let's say you have the spell. Give me an example of a first level spell, Mason.
I think isn't light a first level spell?
It's a cantrip. Shield is a first. No.
No, shield's a
Yeah.
cantrip. Let's say you have magic missile. And
Concordant choir.
let's say you have magic missile and mage armor. If you want to be able to cast magic missile twice today, you have to prepare it in each spell slot.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah. So you're gonna find that compared to 5th edition, you have more spells every day, and you know more spells, but you're locked in at the beginning of your day in deciding which spells and how powerful each one's gonna be. It's kind of it makes it a much more important
The
decision.
decisions, Yeah.
Do I
Become
need to
important.
change shirts?
Probably not.
Looks fine to me, but
Oh, I've got archives up on stream. Oops. I hope stream is really enjoying all this.
So do we have
Yeah, Mason, you're
permission-
pretty invisible.
Okay, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'll be back.
Do we have permission to import an image for our tokens?
I would like to get art done, but is it a Magic the Gathering or
Hero
Pathfinder? A Hero Forged image? Yeah, that's fine.
Uh-huh.
I have.
Okay. I click on image and it not let me go into
Okay.
the thing.
oh, so this is good. I chose spell substitution
As a,
as my thing.
where do you get that? Oh,
My arcane
your arcane
thesis.
thesis. Yeah.
Arcane thesis.
Yeah. So in the heat of the moment, can't do it. But like, if we come across something, I'm like, I think I have a spell in my book for this.
You
Give me
can spend 10 minutes to empty one of your prepared spell slots and prepare a different spell from your spellbook in its place. Once
Can
per
you use
day.
that same 10 minutes?
It doesn't.
No,
I don't think it
It's
says
not once per day.
day.
And you can take 10 minutes at any point in time.
I see. Okay, that's actually really that really changes the way the wizard plays. And gives you a lot more flexibility. You also have, I think, Arcane Bond.
Or drain bonded item.
Yeah, it lets you get a spell slot back. Is that right?
Yep. Once per day. It's like arcane recovery. But it can be
Yeah.
any spell, I think. Any spell slot, I think.
So yeah, you choose 5 first level spells, and you kind of prepare each day how you want those to, which 2 you want access to, or which 1 you want access to twice. As far as how you do it in Foundry, I think you just go to the you go to Oh, okay, so go to the compendium. So on the right hand, all the way on the right, on the list of menus, there's a little book that looks like it has a globe on it. Between the music and the gears.
Oh, hold on. Fuck. Working on it. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, no problem.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And then you want to find. Is it character building? Yeah. There's a character building folder, and then there's a spells folder.
Ah, yes.
This is definitely the
Oh.
hardest way to do this.
My God.
This is definitely the hardest way to do this. Hold on.
Holy shit. Okay.
Oh no, here's the better way. Here's the better way. Go back to your character sheet.
Okay, good.
Go back to your character sheet, click on spell preparation, and then it's going to come up with a window. From here, this is where you want to add all of the spells that you know. Not the ones prepared today, but that are in your spell book. There's an open spell browser magnifying glass here.
Ah, okay.
And then you can change it to, you can make sure that arcane is checked. You can click first level so that you're only looking at first level arcane spells. And then you also want to click spell under categories, the top one. Categories, click spell.
Yeah.
Not cantrips or rituals or focus. And then you pick 5 of these. It's still, quite a few things to scroll through. So I'll let you.
Where,
Mm-hmm.
where do I keep these?
Oh, so when you find one that you like, grab it and drag it onto that empty kind of page, the intermediary page that says arcane prepared spells.
Oh, it's still there. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, drag them all onto that. I think. Let's just see. Air bubble. Yeah, that's how you do it. And this will
Okay.
fill out effectively what is your spell book. All of your available spells every day. Jonathan, are you ready to talk about spells, which is the same thing? Oh no, wait. We have to fix your character sheet because I fucked up.
Yeah, I'm doing the thing. Picking my last thing.
Okay.
Okay. So how do I export the
So come to Foundry, open Ceridwen's character sheet. At the top, you should see a little wizard hat that says Path Muncher. Click on that. And then over back on Path Builder, go to Export JSON.
okay.
And it should give
Export
you a code.
JSON. Okay.
A 6-digit code.
Precisely. I'm going to have, I think, a Lacroix. Gotta keep
Okay.
hydrated.
So it's still asking for the deity here.
Okay. I think that the most appropriate
I wish I had ice cream.
DoorDash can make that happen.
You're right.
Don't do it. It's
Uh,
ridiculous amounts of money to
I
spend
don't
on
want
ice
to.
cream.
Yeah, I don't want to spend that much.
Don't
money
do
on
it. Oh, this is actually perfect. So your deity, just select Horus for now.
Horus?
Mhm. Okay. Did it ask you for what's the next question?
Mm-hmm. It's asking for the domain. The options are air, moon, protection, and sun.
Which ones did we talk about?
We talked about fate, truth, zeal, and duty.
Which one did you like the best? Do you remember looking through it?
Yeah, you mentioned that truth or fate would be the most apt. I
Yes.
decided on fate.
Will it let you override that and select fate?
At the moment, no. I don't know what after I do it, but
Yeah, then skip it.
And nope, it comes right back. Skip again. It just told me I lacked ability to create a folder.
Cool. Yeah, so it wants you to select. Okay, I think I got it. I did. Okay, cool. So I have put Fate onto your character sheet. I have no idea where you can see it, except that it is under your Divine Focus Tradition spells. It showed up properly. So, if you check your spell list, you'll see you've got your fonts, your heals at the top. You have one spell from Seer Elf, apparently. You have Otherworldly Magic? That's got to be an elf trait.
Yeah, it is an elf trait.
Okay. It's just one cantrip?
It is.
Is it a first level spell also, or no?
Allow me to check Path Builder.
Your elven magic manifests a simple arcane spell even if you aren't formally trained in magic. Choose one cantrip from the arcane spell list. Okay. No. Cool.
Just a cantrip.
And then you have your cleric spells. So let's see how cleric spells work. Similarly to wizards.
The cantrip should not be used.
Divine spellcasting. At first level, you can prepare 2 first level spells and 5 cantrips each morning from the common spells on the divine spell list. So unlike with the arcane spell list, which is much larger, and that's kind of the trade-off, you have access to the entire divine spell list at all times. You don't have to learn new spells, write them down in your spell book or anything. But it's a smaller spell list, and you choose 5 cantrips every day and 2 first level spell slots. Because you're a prepared spellcaster, just like with wizards, if you want to cast the same spell more than once, you need to prepare it in both slots. But you will technically have that option every day. So what you'll do is come down to your, let's change your name. Serdwin Win. Fix that if it's wrong. Come to your spell sheet, the spell tab,
Mm-hmm.
and then come down to the cleric section.
Okay.
And click spell preparation. And then click open
Okay.
spell browser.
Okay.
And then you want to add all first level divine spells. So under categories, select spell. Under tradition, select divine. Under levels, select 1. You want to add all of these to your preparation. This empty slate where it says just spell preparation. Yeah. Each day you'll select 5 of them. Sorry, 2 of them. You want to do the same thing with cantrips, actually. So I'll let you work on that. Mason, do you have any questions for me? I haven't really addressed you at all.
I'm working through Path Builder. It's got a little bit different information in it than Foundry does right now, in terms of ability modifiers. So Path Builder, I'm wondering, is giving me a penalty where I chose not to do that. Which would make sense.
The Leshy thing, yeah.
Yeah, because it's got intelligence -1, and my strength is 1 higher than it is in the other. So
You should be able to adjust that in Path Builder if you'd like, or you can just wait till you port it over and then fix it.
I mean, I'm just working on them both at the same time to
Okay.
see.
So
So
you're not
I
going to
went.
import it, you're just going to work on them
No,
simultaneously.
I'm just
Yep,
that's
sounds
how I
good.
do Lola, too. So I'm going scout background.
Okay.
Root Leshy heritage, right? All of that's the same. In terms of spells,
Anyone heard from AJ?
it says that I get 5 cantrips and 2 level 1 spells.
I think, do you prepare from the entire nature primal spell list every day?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So you want to do the same thing I just asked Chavis to do. Go to your sheet, click on the spell preparation button in blue, click on browse spells, and drag all first level and cantrip primal spells to your little, that intermediary window, the open blank note that pops up. That'll be your spell book, your available to prepare from list.
Gotcha.
All right. Appreciate your patience,
Even
guys.
the
as some of you are
uncommon
not...
ones?
No,
Rare
sorry,
ones?
not the uncommon ones. Not the uncommon
Too
ones.
late.
Jonathan! I should have been more
Just saying
specific.
they're on there. Not that they have to stay there, but they are on there.
All right, remove the uncommon ones.
All right, but not the rare ones.
No, remove the rare ones.
I
Jesus.
got you.
Okay. So, I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break, and then we'll come back. I'll jump in with. We'll start with Cameron because I think we're about to lose him to exhaustion, and we'll go over.
Ha!
We'll kind of talk about your decade departed. Decade departed. That should be the name of this session. William, take note.
I don't know. I'm overwhelmed. Is it normal to feel overwhelmed by all this? There's a lot
Yes.
here.
Yeah, the first time for spellcasters, yeah. Are you having difficulty choosing spells?
I mean, yes, but also just doesn't help that I'm like sleep deprived right now.
Gotcha.
Do I want to be an enchantress? There's so many of these spells. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. If you want like a cheat sheet, and you can look up. It's like RPG bot, Pathfinder,
Yeah.
whatever
highly
you're
recommend.
doing, and then it just like tells you the good stuff, and it sifts through the stuff you might not want to. You don't want to waste your time making decisions on.
Yeah,
Yes.
effectively, there are people who have already power gamed this game and min-maxed it all. And if you want to see what their choices were. Like, not that you necessarily have to be min-maxed or make the best, most optimal decision. But RPG Bot is a great place to check and see. You just go Pathfinder 2e Wizard, Enchanter Wizard, or whatever the case, just a wizard probably, and kind of go through. They've got color-coded options, so you can see the ones that are like blue and
Green.
are usually like really good choices.
Blue is best in slot. Green is good. Everything else you
Should.
Might want
decide
to.
at your
It's
roll.
niche. Yeah, it's niche. So that don't feel compelled to comply, but that would be a great place to start off. And I'm not trying to.
And it
This is a
takes away
game.
some of
I'm
the
not trying to give you homework,
paralysis.
but yeah, that might help.
Hmm.
All of those things have been added.
Awesome.
So many spells.
So many spells. So, I'm gonna give a brief recap. I realize that some of you are still working your character sheets. That's completely fine. It's what this kind of casual session is for. But I'm gonna recap what happened last session and jump into kind of talking about each of your characters. I'll probably start with Jerry actually, because we've already got a head start on what your
Yeah.
decade away looks like. So previously on Injustice. For those of you sticking along in the stream, thanks for slogging through 30 minutes of character creation. Previously on Injustice. The party, fearful for their lives, having discovered a powerful artifact, the actual corpse of a long, anciently departed race of gods. They have acquired these powers, these vertices of the Veo, which offer them some modicum of control over the very fundamental components of reality. They discover quickly that a powerful consortium that is embedded in the government, known as the Witnesses, is after these gifts, these powers that they have uncovered and have been for some decades, perhaps centuries. And the fact that they have uncovered them has kind of triggered a manhunt to locate these 6 children who have stumbled upon the vertices of the ancient Veo. And so they are forced to flee from their home, the capital city of the Astropolis within the country known as the Justice of Astropor. With the assistance of a hired mercenary, a member of the Alabaster Fleet, they make their way across the Spiral Sea to Mana Priet, where they were told they would meet with an ally, Nomen Soldat, one of the witnesses, but presumably one who is assisting them. The mercenary, Gaswano, brings them to meet with Nomen Soldat, and Nomen dismisses him. They believe for a moment that they might be in safe hands at last, for they discover that Nomen is being puppeted by one of the other witnesses, a member of the Dark Consortium of Witnesses who is out to kill these children and take away their power. A confrontation breaks out, but the children are saved by one of the retired witnesses, Ganymir Pavek, who comes forth and overpowers Mensura Dunica, offering the children a moment of reprieve, and Nomen regains his mental faculties and reverses the spell on Dunica, thus taking control of her. Nomen then departs, wishing the children best of luck, telling them that he wants no knowledge of their whereabouts. They should scatter to the wind, flee Astropor, and hide indefinitely from the leaders of Astropor, whose agents will surely be combing the globe for these unique powers. With only a few allies to speak of, the 6 children have to make a choice. Traveling with Gaswanu and the Alabaster Fleet for a time to make their way across Astropor to spread themselves and hide and lay low, and find a way to increase their power and their knowledge and their control over this unique ability that's been granted to them, so that they are not so easily hunted by the witnesses. And that is when we begin this skip in the storyline as we jump forward approximately 10 years. The party, and all in their various paths in various ways, have been kind of laying low, hiding, honing their skills. We're going to start with Topharos. Topharos.
Are you ready? I didn't know if you were
I-
acquiring something to get ready or not.
I am ready. Yeah.
We'll
So
start with Topharos.
Topharos.
So Topharos, big picture stuff.
Mhm.
After leaving the Spiral Sea, is going to stay with the Alabaster Fleet until after everyone has generally decided where they're going to go. He will sail with the Alabaster Fleet for a few years,
Okay.
and then is going to go to these floating islands that I don't remember the name of.
Ilasara.
Ilisara. So, can you spell that?
ISLE SAERA.
S-A what? Sorry.
ERA.
Oh, these are two different words. Isle Sarah. Or
Yes.
is it one word?
It's all one word, but yes. The island
Okay.
of air, yeah.
Gotcha.
Real creative around here with my
what
names.
was I about to say? Oh, so he'll be there. He'll be there for. It's probably going to end up being like 4 years with Alabaster Fleet, and then 6 in
Ilasara.
Ilisara. Okay.
Sarah, really. Ilasara.
Ilisara. Okay.
I've really not spoken the word aloud until tonight. I wrote it down, but now you're forcing me to decide how it's pronounced.
Gotcha.
So are you mechanically? Are you just doing the single gate, or will
No.
you have?
Dual gate. It'll be metal and.
Okay.
Technically, he's doing. I realized I changed something, so I guess that should affect what I'm gonna do. But I would still like to be in those locations unless you believe that you shouldn't. I would like to do metal and fire instead of metal and air.
Sure.
So that's when I asked you where were places where there were active volcanoes where there might be access, or where
Yeah.
the access to the plane of fire might be. And you
That's
said
almost exclusively in Kazabazor,
You
which
said
is
that you gave one. You gave the Sulfur Isles, I think, is what the other one you
Sulfur
said.
Citadel is
Sulf-
not really an option for you. The Sulfur Citadel is the arcane training ground for the witnesses.
Oh, I know where that is. Okay, you're right.
You don't want to be there.
So Kazabazor would be the only other location.
I think, yeah,
Okay.
which kind of ties into your own story. So
Sure. So then will flip it. He'll be with the Alabaster Fleet for 6 years.
okay,
6 years.
are you staying on the
Yeah.
on the Iron Albatross with Gaswanu, or would you kind of meander between the various ships of the fleet?
I think he would stay with Gaswano, and then it's likely that at some point, when they get near Kazabazor, he decides to get off to
Okay.
see what has happened with his father.
Excellent. Yeah. So Kazabazor is a harsh land. Not quite like Tatooine level harsh. It's not Arrakis. But it's not abundant. The people there are guarded with their resources. And tribes and families have a strong bond. Like you don't betray your tribe or your family, and you should always be distrustworthy of other tribes and families. It's a very sort of divided region. It's largely made up of dwarves and humans, as well as Ifrit of both variety. And then, of course, there's the mix of a small mix of gnomes, elves, and Nagaji.
Okay.
As you do decide to return to Kazabazor, place where you spent some of your youth, returning as a
I think it's going to be a little bit longer, so I'm thinking it's probably going to be more like 8 years.
returning as kind of a young man, not as a youth, but a man with societal influence to a degree, and as a member of, are you a member of the Alabaster Fleet?
Yeah, I would have
Okay.
basically joined.
As
joined it.
officially a mercenary of the Alabaster Fleet, you have a little bit of impunity from local law, a little bit of recognition of your talents and skills, and you're able to move about relatively freely, as you're seen as a sellsword to a degree. So it's known that you don't necessarily have a tribe, but you don't need one to be accepted in society, considering your occupation. You might be just working on a job or seeking work.
Gotcha.
And how many years do you spend in Kazabazor?
It would just be 2.
2 years.
Well, I'll put it this way. I will find out what has happened to my father, and that would be if he has left or something. I probably won't stay.
Nope, he's right where you left him.
Okay.
He has a ranch in the Southlands near the craters. He lives on his own with one ranch hand. He's a kind of grumpy old gnome. He's got no interest in seeing you when you arrive. He just kind of gives you well, I guess come in if you want, and then goes back to his work. He's got doesn't want to talk about his past.
Is he in a what's the word? Is he successful? Is he?
He
Yeah.
is not floundering.
Okay.
He is not prosperous.
Okay.
But he makes ends meet, barely.
Okay. And he has no desire to discuss what happened.
None.
Oh, okay. Then I will probably have been there. I'll be there for a very short period of time. Then I
He
will.
gives you he absolutely welcomes you, like not welcomes you open arms per se, but if you want to stay, he offers you a bed in the barn, but that's his. He doesn't
Okay.
want to talk about it.
Okay. Well, I will not. I will not stay. I will rejoin the Alabaster Fleet then.
Okay.
I think that's all I have.
Yeah.
Oh, I would have done this. So we would have most likely ran into a situation where we came into contact with Astapor again. So there would have been a situation where he
Mm-hmm.
would be looking and checking in to see if they have to find out the witnesses have found people, or trying to make if there's any way that he can make sure that the witnesses are not on the trail of anybody, or he can mess up the
It's
trail.
very difficult to do that since the hunt for these people is largely surreptitious. Is that the word? Clandestine.
Mhm.
Like it's not known, right?
Yeah.
If it were known that there was a faction of the witnesses that was actually hunting children.
Well, I mean, like if anyone is asking about
Yeah.
people,
Upon your
going
several
outside.
times that you return, you do, upon really digging, you do learn of rumors of a group of kids going missing.
Okay.
Rather out of the blue. It has largely been written off that the children were in attendance at the cataclysmic event of Phoebe's
Mm-hmm.
witness ceremony, and were somehow obliterated in the blast because their bodies were never found. This is kind of understood to be plausible, since one of the children that went missing was the daughter of a prominent politician who was in attendance, and one of the children who went missing was the son of the captain of the guard. So it's somewhat possible that these kids were invited to the ceremony, or at least in attendance, unsanctioned.
Okay, so large and by people think the kid just died or didn't make it.
Yes, the children, but the only bodies that were never recovered were that of Phoebe and the 6 children. So
Okay.
there are conspiracy theorists out there who don't buy it.
Gotcha. Okay. I will, because we are traveling, I will attempt. Topros is not a writer, so he very much does bullet points to have specifically to get. He'll give updates to Sari and to Vesrin.
Okay. We'll see what their decades departed look like.
Yeah.
We are going to do Vesrin next.
Okay. I'll be right back.
Okay. Are you good with your character sheet, Cam? Pretty.
I'm still working on spell selections, but
Yeah, no worries.
generally, yes.
That's the hardest part, honestly.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna come back to this spell preparation deal. So if I remember correctly, there is some sort of city, something or other, on these plateaus.
Yeah,
where
on the highest plateau here.
wizards are trained. Is that right?
Yes. So, if you'll follow kind of the path here from Manapriet,
Mm-hmm.
the Iron Albatross sails around the Spiral Sea into the Cerulean Sea, under the Elisera, around here north of the Amethyst Wastes, and lands here at the edge of the Himankara Mountains and the border of the Veonaya Empire. From what you know about the Veonaya Empire, it extends all the way from the Amethyst Wastes up to the tips of the Himankara Mountains, and down to the Glasslands. It is a true magocracy. Anyone with enough magical talent, poise, skill can raise through the societal ranks, regardless of pedigree, regardless of pedagogy. If you've got magical talent, you have political power. Foreigners who arrive in Veonia arrive usually, well, at least you do, arrive for the first time at a city right here in the bay called Vidrusari. 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 This is kind of like, if I could draw the parallel, it's kind of like Hong Kong. It is a city that is somewhat segregated from the rest of Veonia. There are lots of tourists and also lots of natives who intermingle here. It's a city that is a bustle with trade throughout the rest of the world. But to leave this city and to enter the rest of the country, you have to have a specific charter to travel across the country. You have to basically say exactly where you're going and have a visa or a reason to go there. Or you have to go to one of these offices and receive a sigil and apply for citizenship. All true citizens of Veonia have a little arcane symbol which floats around their head that denotes their spellcraft ability. It's like a ranking system. And they can turn on and off at will. It's just kind of a display of power, a badge, basically. Every citizen of Veonia has one, even if it's the lowest rank. And it allows you to sort of, at a glance, know who you should defer to within the society. Basically, the governmental system is ruled by the high scholars, and the highest ruler is called the Scholastic Premier. You can attend at the city gates of Vidrusari before either booking passage to pass through Veonia or to a specific city in Veonia. You can go to basically what's like a consulate, or it's a school, and you can take a test, a spellcraft aptitude test, to become a citizen of Veonia and receive a sigil. So
I'll do that.
Okay, perfect.
Ask me a questions, Bridgekeeper.
I'm not afraid. Yeah, go ahead and make for me a So you're not really good at spellcraft. You only just recently got access to spellcraft, but you are very smart. And I assume over the several weeks that you've traveled along this path, you might have picked up or tried to pick the brains of any spell-casting members of the Alabaster Fleet along the way, knowing what you knew. You knew all this from Ganymede before you set off on this path, so knowing that you were going to have to prove your capacity with spellcraft, you might have been studying extensively all the way up to here, and you might have even spent, because Noman gave you guys some platinum to spend, and you split it between you, so you might have spent a couple of days, maybe even a week, in Vidrusari, the kind of consulate city, trying to pick up more spellcraft, trying to train some more. So I won't hold that against you. Let's just have you make a flat, plain old-fashioned Arcana check. Did you roll that blind?
Yeah.
Okay. So, basically you attend the Scholastic Consulate. You go through the paces. This is like you've just been cramming for this test for the last couple of weeks. And so to you, the questions he asks seem somewhat rudimentary, because you've been studying this specifically for 2 weeks. You're like, yes, of course I know that. Yes, what's the next question? And the questions do get more and more difficult because it's an aptitude test, right? So if you continue to be good at the simple stuff, the questions become harder and harder. The goal is for you to eventually get to some questions you cannot answer, can't perform. But you do get to a point where the proctor of the exam kind of raises his eyebrows and assigns you a sigil. It is of a rank commensurate with a 23 out of 100.
Okay.
Yeah, not bad at all for a foreigner coming. Yeah. I mean, there are plenty of Veonians.
For somebody who's been magicking for 2 weeks.
Yes. It's very clear that you, like, you know, you're the hero, you're the protagonist of this story. Because there are plenty of Veonians who, usually young people, like teens and adolescents, but even some young adults and middle-aged people who never aspire to get any higher than this even. They just are too lazy or don't have any interest in it. They live on the outsides of society. So you're entering off with an opportunity here. You're not by any means a noble or even a highly respected member of society, but you're going to be starting off on very solid footing when you enter. And you are given citizenship in Veonia and given the ability to enter the empire at large. I assume then that you head to the capital city and seek to attend studies there?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to go to wizarding school.
All right. Good enough. Anything else for this 10-year period?
So I would say that, like, given my being raised by a politician, a lot of my focus as a wizard will be sort of surrounding influencing people and gaining clout and, like, trying to learn how to cast without people knowing that I'm casting while I'm standing right in front of them. So that'll be sort of like a sub-interest of my studies. It's like stealth casting and things like charm and fear and intimidate and that kind of stuff.
Entering the Empire kind of with the wind in your sails, as it were, feeling good about yourself. When you arrive at school as a brand new student, it takes you a long time to get used to the society. It's very much, you're frequently homesick. It's a very different world, especially for you, where you've always kind of enjoyed, even without you wanting necessarily the attention, you've always enjoyed the sort of privilege of being a wealthy politician's daughter. And you have to find a job here. You have to, like, earn money to pay rent and tuition, and while you're not starting off on the bottom, you're not a pauper, you have some societal clout. It's a real, you spend almost half this time learning how to be an adult person and the rest of it learning how to cast spells. So you learn a lot in this time.
Would Vestin have replied to
Great question.
Because here's what'll probably happen. What I foresee happening is the first incident that happens where Topros comes into contact with the elemental plane of metal and then fire. He's probably going to when they sail back around to that side, is going to send letters to Bessern to say, "Hey, what do you know about these things?"
Yeah. So I would respond, and try to incorporate any of the information that I've been learning
Mhm.
in Magic College.
Okay.
Hoping that just a total info dump is going to be helpful for you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. I think it works.
Yes, excellent. Okay. Superb. That brings us to, let's go ahead and do Oleander. I believe you're also sticking with the Alabaster Fleet for a time?
Yeah. And I think that I would be sticking around as well with Swanno for a while, probably around. I think that I might split off when he decides to leave. I take that as my maybe I should.
So that's 8 years in. You're staying 8 years?
Okay, maybe not. Maybe 6 years.
Okay. Yes,
For
that's
that
because he
particular
changed
ship,
his.
and then
Yeah.
But like I'll stay with. I still will stay with the fleet, but I'll be like I will start like okay, I'll go to other. I'll be more of a mercenary kind of. And one of the things that will take place in this time is that, and probably around that time that I decide to shift off and move on my own with a different
Mhm.
ship, is the like my heritage actually going through, and that actually gives me I start to adopt, and like once I
Can you
like
move your
figure out what it.
Camera? A little bit. Yeah. Sorry. Or move your
Okay.
seat. Your choice.
But at presenting myself more as Sully as opposed to an elf.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, and we
talking-
talked about kind of on Discord how like if any of you who are elves sought out sort of elven heritage outside of Astropor, you might be disappointed in what you find. The elves of Mythonos at large represent sort of the epitome of complacency. They live a long time, but they have no interest in doing anything productive with that time. They stick to small tribes, small families of their own. They are highly distrustworthy of outsiders. They just kind of stay to themselves, enjoy nature. They're sort of hermit-like. They don't have any ambition to get anything done. And that's sort of the opinion that most races have of elves across Mythonos, with the exception of the elves of Astropor, which, after decades of having shorter lives that are similar in length to, well, identical in length to the other races, are forced to kind of adopt a different mindset, a different culture. And so, if you were kind of seeking out that heritage, you might find some elven tribes, but none which would claim you or treat you as their own without some serious effort, or at all be interested in helping you along this path. Just think about it, a 10-year time period is a very minuscule amount of time to an elf. Excellent. So you join up at some point. For many years, you're traveling alongside Topharos, mercenaries together, traveling on the Iron Albatross. Would you say about 6 years in?
Yeah.
You actually find an opportunity to head off and join a sailing vessel called the Mithril Mer. It's short for like mermaid. It's got a bright silver merfolk at the figurehead, and it's an opportunity for you to join a band of the Alabaster Fleet where it's a little bit less seasoned than the Iron Albatross, and so amongst those people, you are a little bit more competent. So you see an opportunity to kind of be a bigger fish in the pool, so to speak, and get better jobs, better opportunities in that line. And you bid farewell to Topharos for now and head off.
And one of the other things is my background is magical misfit, so I'm going to the trick magic item thing is going to be something that I'm interested in doing a bit, and like that kind of like if I do as soon as I start I am showing some kind of magical something, I should probably have other ways to just fake it to a degree.
Yeah. Because you don't have spellcasting.
And I think that I also when my ancestry feat is one that produces I'll have for now it's I'll add an elemental damage to an attack, and I think that the first time it triggered as fire, and I thought this was this expanding, and then eventually oh wait, hold on, that was water that just came off my sword. It took a sec, and my eyes actually being different than they were, and not just that red.
Right, because so for the stream and for the rest of the players, what kind of reveals over this time period is that Oleander's ancestry has elemental blood in it, kind of harkening back to the old era where the Veo were experimenting with the mortals of this realm and infusing their souls with elemental planes. That's where the Oread, basically Ganassi, the earth Ganassi, the air Ganassi, that's where they all come from. The Suli is just kind of a amorphous mix of all of those elements. It's just a connection to the chaotic planes of elements. And so that's kind of become manifest in Oleander's physical appearance and his actions as well. Anywhere in particular that you would anywhere on the map here in particular that you would head?
I feel like the south down, way down.
So this is Kazabazor. This is where.
Oh well, never mind. If we're already exploring that, we'll do something different then.
Yeah, that's where Topharos is going to be.
Sorry.
That's where his family is. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, this area has little that. What's in here?
Yeah, great question. So I imagined that this peninsula section here, with the high rocks and the rivers that run through it, is kind of like a classically Arthurian kingdom. Swords and shields, but wizards as well. It's probably got a king, with a court. One of the only sort of medieval governmental structures that we've seen in Mythonos so far. It's ostensibly a righteous region that purports to uphold justice of the land, but has none of the strict laws of Astropor. I'm imagining there's some kind of capital similar to Camelot or the Lannister stronghold here at the very peak of this cliff face here that looks out over the sea. And they have a somewhat powerful navy, though nothing rivaling Astropor. And it's just kind of a realm of, it's kind of like Scottish English Highlands. Would you like to name this country and capital city?
Oh
no. Would anybody like to name this country and capital city?
So I just looking at this, I was trying to what it looks like. I was trying to think what it looks like, but also you wouldn't really get a visual overhead to know
people
this.
Wouldn't name it that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Those do kind of look like legs, to a degree.
But yeah, I imagine that. So there's the big capital city down here, and then there's another large city down here in the bay where they have their shipwrights, because the waters on this gulf are a little bit calmer than out at sea, so they can use this kind of calm water to build an impressive navy. And they just kind of control this whole region. I've got a lot of woodlands and farmlands and mountains. Any suggestions for the name of this nation?
Stanalore.
Baladesh.
France.
Walter.
Walter? I like Baladesh. What did I say Baladesh? Did I hear that?
Yes. Yep.
Baladesh is the name of the nation. The people are called Baladeshari. The capital city is what'd you say, Jerry?
Stanalore.
Stanalore.
Let's go for France backwards. But don't like the French. I don't know what to tell you. I tried.
Yeah, I'll say that Oleander, you find certain comfort in a country that is kind of predictable and easily manipulated to a degree, but also like has good intentions. It's kind of gritty in that they have a law system, but it isn't imposed by divine justice like it is in Astropor. It's just like, please follow the laws, and you kind of smirk at that, like, oh yeah, I guess they could just ask you to do it and then behead you if you don't. But let's so
and with I get underworld lore with this background, so like there's gonna be a bit of like I definitely okay, yeah, I'll follow the rules, but like only so much as you can make me.
Baladesh enjoys geographic protection from the somewhat war-driven nation of Vaonaya, in that the Vaonayans are hesitant to cross the Glasslands, the wilderness of the Glasslands, to attempt to cede any land, take any land from the Baladeshari. It's dense jungle, swamp. It's hard to get soldiers across to take that land, and so Baladesh kind of is protected in that way by the harsh landscape to the north. And they, despite the magic capacity of the Vaonayans have a flaw of scoffing at simple mechanics and perhaps underestimating the value of nautical knowledge and naval prowess in lieu for magical prowess. And so on the open sea, despite having incredible spellcasters at their disposal, a well-trained and well-built naval force. Vaonayans don't take naval battles. So they know better. All right. This is also a region of mostly humans and dwarves. There are definitely halflings and gnomes here as well. And there are elves out in the woods, but again, kind of isolated to themselves. To the east from here, this mountain range kind of divides the continent. Beyond that mountain range is a realm where giants live. Almost exclusively giants, because they don't like company. And that's this sort of icy region. So the mountain range serves as a natural border here.
I feel like he's taken one job. Like he's convinced them to do one job, to go out there and
and it went
a bad idea.
Fine, TM.
Made it back.
Yeah. All right. Saradwin.
Yes.
I presume, although please feel free to correct me, that you will take Ganymir's offer to abscond with him and become a hermit and learn about the divines.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Rather than boarding a ship and sailing away with the others, you depart kind of before anyone else. You and Ganymede head off northward along the peninsula of Astropor, making your way slowly through the small cities and villages of the Astropor countryside, the fish villages, the kind of mountainside tropical villages, and make your way up to the Amethyst Wastes, which the entire length of your journey you are just dreading crossing the Amethyst Wastes and wondering why the hell you're going this direction. And all the while, Ganymede is just saying, have faith, have patience.
I don't really think you know what patience is. This is not really patience. This is fear.
And he leads you out into the Amethyst Wastes, using spellcraft to protect you from the harsh environments, creating a bubble of air around you, both as you travel. Quickly, you leave the tropical paradise of Astropor behind and make your way across this sharp. The grains of sand are like sharp in and of themselves. When the wind picks up, they almost cut at your skin as they're blown across this hard amethyst dust. Ultimately, you find a civilization buried out here in the wastes. Mostly Oreads, so that's going to be the Earth Genasi, or Earth, and they have much higher resistance to the wastes' exotic hazards, and you know that they run a trading route across the wastes that is very profitable, as they're the only ones able to do it. But they run it from Veonia to Astropor and back. But you manage to find they have a society of kind of these rock outcropping, almost crystalline, solid amethyst structures that burrow deep underground and create safe places where you can live. And Ganymede ultimately leads you to kind of a hermitage, a spot almost like Ben Kenobi, well off the reservation, and you and he kind of find this crystal cave structure that you call home for a while, near enough that you can buy supplies from one of the Oread outposts in exchange for small magical services. And he begins to teach you of a mysterious Sphinx god, whom he came into contact with early on in his time as a witness. Mechanically, he is an oracle. He isn't a cleric. He doesn't worship this Sphinx god. You just met him. But he teaches you how to contact the Sphinx god. The Sphinx god is unknown to you, or him. He has no idea what the name of the Sphinx god is. But it's not any of the three Sphinxes that rule Astropor. But you do get the impression that this entity, this divine being, has a vested interest in the success of Astropor somehow, that it wants you to succeed. And the more you deepen your connection with it, the more you begin to think that this is the embodiment of what the Sphinxes always should have been. And you're not sure how the manifestation of what they are now got so far away from this. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you have any questions? Anything you want to add?
No. Just follow Ganymede. I mean, if I were to ever see the Iron Fleet or anything like that, are we doing like the whole 10 years now, or is just?
Yeah, whole 10 years, and you definitely don't have to be in the wastes the whole 10 years. It's entirely possible. I mean, you help me. It's entirely possible that at some point in this 10-year period, Ganymede has a Yoda moment and just dies on you. He is fucking old.
Mm-hmm.
And
So where are we going when we get across the Amethyst Waste? Like,
so
is there a set destination?
he brought you to like roughly here
Okay.
within the wastes in a crystal structure that is safe from an environmental standpoint, and you spent some time there. Could have been several years, could have been the whole 10 years. Across the Amethyst Wastes, you get into a more typical desert, and then you get into sort of a Sahara-like landscape. Now down here, below the soaring cliff faces of the Vaonian Empire, this is all technically Vaonia land, but it is mostly occupied by nomadic tribes of humans and halflings. They are kind of like tinkers. They travel across the grasslands in caravans, like covered wagons, and they always bring music and joy and trade and stories. They do puppet shows. They're well loved at the various little villages, farming villages that they pass through in the savannas here. But that's the major occupants of them. I would say that if you make your way across, you discover, and Vestrum would notice this as well, despite the fact that they are in the country of Vaonia, technically they don't have sigils to denote their magical prowess, and anytime they enter a true Vaonian civilization, they are treated with the utmost respect. They aren't given any kind of special treatment, but they're like treated like a holy man or a cleric would be. They very seldom go into the civilizations, but it's almost like there's some ancient history there, some sort of ancient agreement or pact. The roaming nomads of the Southlands are to be treated with respect, and they to be dealt with straight and never taken advantage of.
So I probably would have stayed with Ganymir for quite some time, unless he said I should leave. So if there was a moment where I had to leave or whatever, I would at least stay there for 5 years, just with him, learning from him. If it's shorter, then it's not. If it's longer, then it's not. Whatever. But eventually, I probably would head out, and with the Gemstone people coming back and forth with the trade route, I would have tried to communicate with, like, send letters to them if they run into the what are they called again?
Alabaster Fleet.
Iron Fleet. Alabaster Fleet.
Yeah, it's a little bit confusing. It's the Alabaster Fleet, but the ship you guys were on is the Iron Albatross.
Gotcha.
I know.
Try to communicate back and forth, send in letters through the traders.
Okay.
To Toph, and trying to communicate back and forth, like relaying through, trying to not super frequently, but frequently enough to my parents to let them know that, specifically my mother, to let them know that I'm alive. That never really giving any information or anything like that, just alive, and never try to make it as vague as possible, so if something were to get caught or whatever. But eventually I would leave. And I could definitely see myself, I could definitely see Sarajuan at that point in his life, getting a little older, wanting to hitch around with his nomadic tribes, going around from village to village.
Sure. You find very quickly that the nomads are very much a culture of found family. Some of these tribes, these roaming tribes, are clearly not many of them are blood related. They're just like outcasts of other societies that have somehow found their way here. And as long as you're upfront and do honest work, carry your own and look out for the rest of the troop, it's almost like that circus kind of mentality. They're really good friends to have, and you could easily fall in with one of these caravans.
I will definitely do that. Like that will be where Sarajuan spends most of his time, if not with one, hopping around from a bunch of different other ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. And then you do get at least one letter from Topharos at some point. Probably doesn't reach you until 5 or 6 years in, when you decide to leave the Crystal Caverns, because Topharos has no idea how to get information to you. But when you leave the Amethyst Wastes and head out, at some point, you happen to notice a note in sorry, not a note. You happen to see one of the Alabaster fleet ships in a port nearby, and by some miracle chance, they have a letter for you that's been waiting around for 3 or 4 years to be delivered. And it is from Topharos. Topharos.
It is probably just an update on where
3 years ago.
and what he knows of what other people were doing. Yeah, but yeah, it is several years past due though.
And where did it say that you were?
With the Alabaster Fleet.
I
So-
would ask about you at the fleet if you were still there.
Mhm. So if it was, I would have still been there by the time you had responded. So I would have. At that point, I may have already. I would not have gotten a message back from Vesman probably. So I would probably just tell you, because I would still been Oleander and I would have still been on the same ship at that point. So give you update there. Something weird happened, where now I can do magic. Aside from the obvious magic. I'd probably also let Oleander write his part of the letter so that I didn't have to say it for him. That's the main thing. Just give you an update on where we're going, where we're heading.
And yeah. And if I would definitely, if I see in the boat, I would try to see if you were on the boat, but likelihood is you probably weren't.
Yeah.
But I would write in the letter saying that I've got it, explaining what I'm doing, or in the general area.
Yeah.
And yeah, telling you to see if you can get another letter to my parents, let them know that I'm alive.
Okay. So I probably would have. I probably would have gotten a letter to the next
Captain
time that
Wynn.
we got into Captain Wynn.
Yeah. Dangerous for you to. You normally stay below decks when you
Yeah.
dock in Astropor, but you can have a letter delivered for sure.
I have one character sheet question.
Yeah.
I think I've got everything settled, but because I did the import, I don't have the vertex.
Yes, great call. Let's see, Ceridwen Wynn.
But I think everything else is correct.
Items. You're the vertex of gravity.
Gravity.
Working against me.
All right, cool, done. Pathfinder was so much better than D&D on Foundry. And that brings us at last. Well, we have Kai, but I don't know what happened to AJ. Also, friends, if you like pumpkin or the beer called Good Morning Vietnam from Wooden Robot, I must recommend Sycamore's Pumpkin Latte Blonde. It is the white bitch pumpkin latte of beer, and it's really good. Cam.
I'm struggling, dude.
Yeah, dude. I mean, feel free to bounce as soon as whenever. I know you probably want to not have to watch this later to catch up on people's backstory, but
I'm probably still gonna have to watch it again.
yeah, no worries. We just have Kijani left, and then we will call it early tonight, gents. So Kijani,
Yes.
the most questionable decision, I guess. I don't know. Vesrin kind of heading out into the Veonine Empire on her own, definitely questionable.
It's
but
probably the
Vesrin,
most- yeah.
Vesrin is what, 12, 13? And also, she holds herself more like a 16-year-old and expects other people to treat her that way. So that's that's one thing. The rest of you all have some sort of chaperone. Kijani
Yeah.
plans on making his way across the globe on his own. A little 9-year-old.
I am
Tell me,
10.
am 10, am plant. What's your ambition here, friend?
Kijani is headed to these marshes where he was told that he could find the practitioners of the druidic arts and hunting and perhaps even some other lechi. So he will travel with the Alabaster fleet for as long as it takes to get to a reasonable port of call to where he can he will work throughout that entire time to kind of save up to convince Gaswana to hire him like a guide to get out there.
Okay.
And then he will spend 10 years becoming one with the forest, learning all the animals, how to track them, how to be a part of their pack, eventually learning how to take their shape and their form and walk as them, with them, and just observe the druids and those that respect nature and do not see magic as a thing to fear or something to even control, but more so learning how nature itself is uncontrollable and just to be a part of that flow.
So ironically, of all of the people here, you probably wind up being welcomed into an elven tribe.
Oh.
Because you want to be on your own, experiencing nature in its most pure and absolute form, with no ambition or impetus to change it, just to absorb it and be in it. And that is kind of why the elves of the rest of Mythonos are so isolated. But I will say at some point you'd probably travel for about a year and a half with Tophros and Oleander. You travel making this trade route all along above the Himamkara across the Veonai Empire. You do get over here, but there's no port over here. In fact, the Alabaster fleet won't even come into this bay because there's no civilization from the trade in there, and it's kind of like Bermuda Triangle. The ships sink in this bay, and they don't want anything to do with it, especially there's no reason to land in here. So ultimately, you wind up coming around, doing some trade with the giants, and actually then sailing back all the way back around the Cerulean Sea and the Spiral Sea back to what's the name of this ocean here in the middle?
The Pacific.
The well.
The Well Good Ocean. The let's see. How about the Crescent Sea? It's a bit of a stretch, but hearing no objection. So this whole kind of central area here will be the Crescent Sea. As it follows along the outside of the Spiral Sea, it creates this almost moon crescent sort of shape. So eventually making your way all the way back around, you do land in Baladesh, and are at this point you've earned enough, saved up enough scratch, working with the fleet to hire a ranger out of Baladesh that will take you along the plains and up into the Glasslands. And you don't find it difficult once you arrive there to make contact with local druid circles, not all of which are elvish per se, but the one that you wind up spending a lot of time with is a small group of elven elders that have been living out in the Glasslands on their own for some centuries. And they take some delight in your youth and your naivete and your cheerfulness, and they invite you to join them and learn from them, and you have that experience. I don't suppose during any of this time that you have had any contact from the others, but it would be difficult.
No.
Yeah, after leaving the fleet.
Hijani will request like once every year or year and a half that he be allowed to make like a sort of hunting trek pilgrimage to like go out on his own and do like something that he has promised that he would do from his homeland, and in that time he will go to the port which he left from, and see if there are any missives or anything, and then return.
Yeah, that's a long trek. It's probably not the closest port down here in Baladesh. I envision, though, you help me, there's probably a couple of free city-states on these peninsulas. Because they're protected on all sides by the ocean, except for the one, and then they're in the Glasslands. This is probably where like you would find the free cities. The city is the whole nation, right? It's not like a collaboration of cities, but like a couple of large-ish trading ports out here on this pair of peninsulas, maybe two, one on each. They don't ascribe to Veonayan rule. They're considered to be in the Glasslands, but there's no nations per se in the Glasslands. So out here, if you want to, I imagine there are two kind of largish cities out here with ports, where you might find it easier and quicker to get to and fro.
Okay, we'll say right here is the I'm thinking like maybe it's even a little bit closer to that delta. It's kind of like a floating city. Like it does use a lot of the land, but then like it goes out onto the water and has like structures and things on it, kind of like Venice. I'm thinking like Ganfar or something. Ganphar.
PHAR. The Ganfar Collective.
And they're just like even parts of the city are ships.
Yeah, like it was
frequently like detached.
It was founded basically by pirates. It's like a Nassau sort of situation. Pirates and privateers who needed a place to call home. They didn't want to follow the laws of Veonaya or pay taxes. They didn't want to be beholden to the laws of Baladesh to the south. No one else wanted this bit of land, which is mostly marsh and swamp and wilderness and tropical jungle that's impossible to tame. So they claimed it for their own. And while the swamp is difficult to build on, that's why a large portion of their city is kind of made up of these ships and flotillas and rafts and things.
Yeah, in my first like kind of pilgrimage, maybe it's once every 2 years because it is such a long trek. I will make sure that one of the pirates knows. I'll like hire them to be like, hey, Iron Albatross, the Alabaster Fleet. One of my friends is on there, and I will give them the Pseudonym Kiki.
Kiki. Okay. Keyleth.
Yeah.
Do you love me?
He is a wild druid, so I mean,
I am Kiki of the Wilderness,
Kiki of the Wilderness. All right.
and I send all of my messages henceforth under that pseudonym.
All right. Well, my friends, does anyone, having heard all of everyone else's stories, does anyone have anything they want to add to their own to intermingle them, or are you fine leaving them as they are? No right answers. Okay.
I probably would have at some point tried to figure out where Kijani was.
Okay.
But
yeah, you do eventually get a letter from Kijani, from Kiki of the Wilderness. It's really unusual for it to have come to you from the Ganfar Collective, the Raft City of Pirates. But, you know, I guess any port in a storm. But he does let you know that he's alive. He's prospering.
I do not tell him that I'm living with elves. I just let him know, like,
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
well.
okay.
For sure.
Do we need to know now? I guess we'll know next time we meet why we're coming back to Astropor. Are we coming back to Astropor, or are we going somewhere else? I just know there's apparently an event that takes place that causes us all to get the
We
band
will
back
start
together.
next session with each of you in your own way, and I'll take this week to kind of take what you guys have said and tailor how this information might have come to you. But each of you will get notice of a request to meet an old friend.
It's signed an old friend.
No, it's signed Ganyan.
Oh, okay. He's still alive? I'm joking.
How does he know where I am?
How does he know where you are?
He took one. He took the other vertex. I'm just making stuff up.
The other vertex was unavailable to us.
No, there was one extra.
Unavailable to us.
It was unavailable. I tried to take
There
it
was-
from the monkey.
Yeah, there was
Venara.
electromagnet thing, but then wasn't there one more that wasn't taken?
Yes. Nobody took matter. There's matter, heat, light, electromagnetism, gravity, time, space, mind, and at the center, life.
Yeah, so there are technically 3 that we were unable to obtain.
Yes.
Well, I tried to take life, but life didn't let me do it.
And I tried to take electromagnetism, but it was still occupied.
I have a question for you, Sid.
Yes.
It's showing that on my class DCs that I am untrained in cleric, and I am unable to make that trained.
I am untrained in cleric.
Who's
And I-
crackling? Is that Rain? Jonathan. Yeah, somehow you were crackling.
Crackling with power.
With power! Sarah Twin. Alright. Yeah, no, as a level 1 cleric, you should. So your spell DC is right, correct? Yeah, it's got trained. Proficiencies. Trained in Kopesh, okay. Where are you seeing this thing?
On the left-hand side, under class DCs, which is underneath Fortitude, Reflex, and Will saving throws.
Yeah, why are you trained in? Does it think you're a level 1 champion with a dedication in cleric?
It shouldn't, because I have the dedication in champion? Question mark.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, weird.
I have another thing that might be easy fix. At the beginning of the game, you gave us all an additional lore skill.
Yeah.
And mine has gone away, and I don't remember what it is.
Civic Guard.
Civic Guard.
Okay, let me think about this and work on it.
Cool deal.
Yeah, I have my own homework. All right, gentlemen. Anything else anybody wants to add? For hopefully next time we meet, we will begin playing the game in earnest. Really, chapter 1, not the prelude.
Are we gonna talk about scheduling after this?
We are, yeah. I'm gonna hop off stream before we do that, and then we'll let people go. So if you guys don't have any other questions, like on table content, no?
I would like to secretly
No.
assassinate everyone and take their vertices.
Okay. Damn. Topherus becomes God. Actually, you're the DM now, so let me roll up a character.
No, thank you.
Okay. All right. In that case, thank you all for joining. Bye, Twitch.
Bye, Twitch. Hasta luego.